Yo, what's up? As always, guys, there are only two words that matter in this world, and they are Forza Milan. Forza Milan to everybody around the world, Milanisti, engaged in this race to be won, in this race to be champions of Italy, in this duty it is for this club to make sure that Inter does not get that second star before us. That would be nice if Milan can stop Inter from doing that. That would be quite epic. And Milan has an opportunity to do this year and maybe even surpass Inter next year. Who knows? So, blessings to everybody that is a Milanista. Blessings to everybody that believes in Milan. All right, guys. A few things to talk about today. The eve of the match against Udinese. First of all, um, aside from conflicts that are happening in Europe, where I wish everybody that is involved there, safety. And I hope that whatever is going on there between these two countries can resolve itself soon. And prayers go to everybody that is in the middle of the crossfires. And so my prayers go to everyone there, innocent people that might get caught in the crossfires, and probably innocent people that have already. So let's really hope that whatever is going on in that part of the world resolves itself in a timely fashion. And but we will see what goes on to that. That is actually also affecting the footballing world. For example, Sweden, a team that is supposed to be playing Russia in the playoffs. Sweden said that they will not go to Russia to play the game. Gazprom, which is one of the sponsors of UEFA, has been taken down. And then the Champions League final, which is supposed to be taking place in Moscow, that will be changed. So not only this is affecting the lives of people on the ground, and those are the people that we should be praying for. Those are the people that we should be concerned about. Innocent civilians caught in the crossfires of war is not a good thing. It's not one of the good things that humanity offers. We should do better. We should be better to each other. We should be more diplomatic towards each other. We should resolve things with each other without the sacrifice of innocent life. That is absolutely wrong. That is absolutely evil. And there is no place in a world where humans strive for peace, tolerance, and the ability to be able to talk to each other without getting to the point where we decide to kill each other. So prayers go to them, to the countries involved, but mostly importantly, once again, prayers goes to all the people, innocent people, civilians caught in the crossfires of this conflict. Of course, Shevchenko, a Ukrainian player. So we are thinking about him, and there's a lot of people from Ukraine that are involved in the situation. So prayers to everyone involved, and hope that the best outcome may come out of this. So let's segue into Milan with a little bit of a heavy heart, looking at what is happening in the world, which is very important to talk about. It's very important to acknowledge. We can't just pretend it's not happening. This might affect. This might even become bigger. It might escalate to something bigger. So let's see what happens there. In the meantime, let's segue towards AC Milan, and let's talk a little bit about AC Milan and the press conference of Pioli today. So we're going to look at what he said. I have not read it yet, so I'm discovering this with you right now, and we're going to see what he's saying before the Udinese match. But also, we're going to talk about Ibrahimovic because I've seen some headlines and I've heard some rumors and I've heard some opinions regarding Ibrahimovic and next season, and then more market rumors. All right, let's get straight into it, guys. Pioli had his press conference, his pre-press conference. It was from what I listened to some of it, and one thing I always do when I listen to Pioli is listening to his voice and his demeanor and the way he carry himself. So you can tell in what state of mind a coach is just by the way he carries himself when talking about a football game. And I got to say, I've seen Pioli in many cases where he was very confident, very sharp. But this time I saw Pioli a little bit more worried. I saw Pioli maybe a little bit more vulnerable than usual. But this doesn't mean anything. This doesn't mean that Milan will have a bad game. This is just that, the team is very focused, and the team is very and the team knows how important this match is going to be. Okay, so let's get into it. Milan looking for a sponsor for disappointment result, blah, 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 blah. Let's get straight into the questions. Are Milan better than a year ago? Good question. We are doing well. We came from a performance with some errors. Tomorrow we expect a more solid performance. Wow, that is a non-answer to a really good question. Is Milan better than a year ago? Now, some people say no because Milan has the same amount of points at this point that they had last year. I think Milan is a better team. I think Milan, with the acquisitions they have done this summer, they've become a team with more depth, more solutions, and everybody is growing and everybody is getting better. So my answer to that question is 100% yes. How did you analyze the Salernitana draw and the results of the others? We have carefully evaluated our performance. We played the two friendly. We have to follow our match plan. We cannot influence the results of the other teams. We have to think of only us. So he said that the team was a little bit too frenetic, pretty much. Some people said that the team was too calm. So a little bit of difference in opinion, but let's look at Pioli's opinion, since his is the one that matters the most. He is the one that is driving this machine. So he says that we're too frenetic, and he's probably referring to the fact that our players are just not ready right now to handle these kind of delicate games where the fear of not winning takes over and you do not manage these games in the correct way. Let's see what else he says. What about the players on expiring contracts, Kessie and Romagnoli? This is a good subject here to talk about because both Kessie and Romagnoli. Now, I want to say something about this. I'll say that in a second. These are problems of the club. I don't train players who are expiring, but serious guys, professionals, and always on the pitch. We'll see then what happens. I love that answer. I love how Pioli is managing this situation with the players that are expiring. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't care. All he cares about is how the player is going to perform. He doesn't put himself in the shoes of Maldini and Massara. He stays out of their way. He is thinking about now. And as a coach, that is what you must do. You cannot be thinking about what's going to happen 2 months ago. You cannot be thinking what's going to be happening the next game. You have to be always in the present. Today, in the present, Kessie and Romagnoli are two great resources for Pioli, and he needs to just use them at their best potential in order to get the results that he has. And he must not be influenced or even think about their contractual situation. So I love his approach. I love this approach. And a thing I want to add about that is I hope the Curva Sud does not whistle Kessie or Romagnoli or any of these players, because if they do, then we don't deserve the Scudetto. Okay, guys? Let me tell you this. Now, I've already seen this Curva Sud, the Milan Curva Sud, whistle to a player in the Italian national team with Donnarumma. I had a very big problem with that. I had a very big problem with that because I expected grown, intelligent, mature men to be able to put aside some of their differences, some of their issues when it comes to more important things, like, for example, the national team. Now, because I know that a lot of people in the Curva Sud are not mature, are not intelligent, and are driven by their anger, and they're driven by their conflicts and driven by their resentments, I'm sure you're going to hear people whistle Kessi. I just hope it's not many people. Today, if you are a real Milanista, you're not going to go to the stadium and whistle when Kessi has the ball. You're going to cheer, and you're going to want Kessi to have the best performance of his life on that day. Because what is more important than your stupid fucking resentments towards Kessi is us winning the Scudetto. So if you put your resentments before AC Milan, you have no value in the Milan society. Okay, so I hope that the Curva is going to be mature and is going to do the right thing, which is cheer on the team, push the team to victory, and forget about all these media propaganda regarding players and clickbait and journalists trying to make money by keep on pushing Kessie and Romagnoli, etc., etc. All right, so let's keep on going. Where must Milan grow? We were not very lucid in Salerno after going in front. We had to manage the game better. I expect some steps forward. Yes, the Salerno game is something that was a lesson. It's a lesson. They definitely learned from that, because I'm sure that tie for them was traumatic. I am sure as much as it was traumatic for us, the fans, it was even more traumatic for them, the players and the people involved right there in the middle of the action. So 100% they learn from that, and I hope, but I'm also sure at the same time that Milan will approach this Udinese game keeping in mind the mistakes that they made against Salernitana. What do you think of the last round of results in which only one top half team won? Okay. Let's see what he says. It was 2003. That was the last. It was that was this time. Sorry, let me do one thing. It was 2003. That was the last time the big teams all didn't win. The truth is, guys, 2003 was the year that Milan won the Champions League. Always good. I like these links, these dates with these links. The truth is that the games are always very balanced and very difficult. It always takes a lot of quality to win games. True. Games, no matter who you're going to be playing against, they're going to be difficult. It doesn't matter if you're playing against the last team or you're going to play against the first team. As a matter of fact, I really want to say this, and I think a lot of people share my opinion when it comes to this. I have absolutely no fear or no worries when it comes to facing Napoli, Juventus, Inter, Atalanta, and the big teams, because I know Milan, when they face these big teams in Italy, they got nothing to fear. They don't play with the fear of not losing. They play with the drive to win against a big team. And I think it's kind of a cop-out. I want to say that. I think it is kind of a cop-out to have that mentality, because if you lose against Juventus, if you lose against Inter, there's always that excuse. Oh, well, it was Inter, they have experienced players, it's a big team, etc., etc. But when you're playing against a smaller team, you don't really have an excuse to lose. Honestly, you don't have an excuse to lose. The institution that you are operating is 10 times the value of the team you played against. Therefore, these pressures are very difficult, and these players really need to be able to manage these pressures. Right now, that is literally the only thing that is in our way, ourselves, our own fears. So, yes, and of course, quality wins you games, quality, but also a cool head, calm, and the right focus. Do you believe in the Scudetto? Great question, guys. These are great questions. Our target is to improve last year's points tally. Okay, he said this last time. Let's see what else he says. If we're good at improving it by so many points to win the Scudetto, it'll be something exceptional. We have built a solid team. We're competitive. Now we have to beautify our home with the details and be as good as possible from here to the end. Now, I've heard this many times from Pioli saying that the objective is to have more points than last year. I think that is an objective that makes sense. I think that when Milan started this campaign, the idea was we can win the Scudetto, but if we don't, it's not that big of a deal for where the team is. Next year, it's going to be a completely different story. Next year onwards, guys, you will see from the get go, from right away the get go, um, the objective is the Scudetto, right? You did not hear these words come out of any Milan, whether it's Maldini, whether it's Gazzidis, whether it's Pioli, whether it's anyone. You did not ever hear them this year say our objective is to win the Scudetto, right? He's saying our objective is to get more points than last year. But you guys, I'm 100% sure that next year you will be hearing these words from Maldini. You'll be hearing these words from Pioli. You'll be hearing they're going to move the team up a level into a psychological stage in which the objective from the get-go, the message to the players is the Scudetto. And you will see that next year the level is going to go higher and the psychological level is going to go higher. This year, I can see why they did not put out that messaging, why they have not seen it, because you can tell that this team is not really quite there. They haven't passed that finish line, but they're very close. And they're close enough to maybe hope to win the Scudetto in case another team drops points, just like in 1999 when we won the Scudetto with Zaccheroni. Milan was definitely not the favorites to win the Scudetto that year, but with a winning mentality came luck, we want to call it that way. And Milan believed, and with that belief, they were able to win the Scudetto. This year is very much possible, and they can do it. And it would be a travesty if they stop believing. All right. Are there any tired players? No. I choose because I have so many quality alternatives. We're thinking only of tomorrow's match. There are 13 games left. Each has an important specific weight. We head to Udinese, which is a tough, intense team and has quality. They're difficult opponents to overcome. True, Udinese has always been a very difficult team to play against for AC Milan, but it's up to Milan to change this trend. It's really up to them to break the code and understand how to win against Udinese, because essentially that's what a Serie A team knows how to do. Just a winning Serie A teams knows how to break the code of every single team, not only the tactical code, but the psychological aspect, which is extraordinarily important. How are you experiencing what is happening in Ukraine? We talked about it before training. There's a lot of concern in all of us. There's a dismay of what is happening. If there's one thing that can unite, it is sport, and therefore we must try to do our best. That is true that sport is a very uniting event, and hopefully this, as I started the stream, hopefully this conflict ends soon. What week was it before? Oh, wait, hold on. I skipped one. What week was it? What kind of question is this? What does this mean? Before every game, I'm always worried because you can prepare better, but there are situations that you cannot control. I have seen a concentrated team this week. Oh, what week was it in the sense, how did you see the players in training this week? So there you go, guys. He says, before every game, I'm always worried. Now, this is a lie. This is a lie because I have seen him, let's say, when Milan came from like a string of very good results. When I listen to Pioli, when I watch him, as I said earlier, he doesn't look worried. He actually looks very confident, like an arrow, a sharp arrow. But now he looked worried to me. Listening to his voice, he didn't have that same delivery. You can tell that he's worried, as as he's saying right here. Before every game, I'm always worried because you can prepare better, but there's always situations that you can. Yeah, exactly. And there's always situations that you can't control in the game, but you can be stronger than the situations you can't control. You can mitigate all of these, and this comes with experience, with quality, and the right determination and the right focus. What worries you about Udinese? They're a compact team. It won't be easy to find spaces, so we'll have to be good at moving the ball. They start off well, so we'll need an attentive and lucid team. We must make as few mistakes as possible. And really, that's what it is, right there. It's really the last sentence that he said. We must make we must make as few mistakes as possible, and it comes down to that, especially because the last time we did not get the full 3 points against Udinese is because we made a mistake in the midfield, which led to Beto scoring the goal. It was our own mistake. It was our own mistake that punished us. And the team needs to be focused and needs to be extremely determined, and they must not suffer the pressure of Udinese. And by being able to not suffer that pressure, they will not make mistakes. Udinese obviously is going to force Milan to the sides, as they always do. So you're going to see a lot of crosses coming in. Hopefully, Giroud can do his thing and score in front of the curva. But yes, it's going to be a difficult game. It's always been difficult against Udinese for some reason when it comes to Milan. And we'll say, and by the way, guys, I just want to show you where Udinese is. Udinese is right here. They're 16th with 25 points. Venezia has 22 points. Okay, so Udinese is only 3 points away from the relegation zone. Udinese is playing with fire, so you can be well assured that Udinese is going to, work very hard. And look at this. Look at this statistic, by the way. Look at this statistic, by the way. This is a statistic that they love. This is how Udinese loves that statistic right there. The tie, the draw. They tie a lot of games, 10 ties, only 5 wins, 9 losses. They're having a pretty poor season. So you always have to be aware of the wounded animal. Milan, on the other hand, 5 ties, 4 losses, 17 wins. A very big difference. Um, and I also want to check what their goal difference is. Let me check that, because that is always an indicate is very indicative of what kind of team um, you can expect to play. The goal ratio. So we'll check that. I'll give you that information in 1 second. Okay, let's get that later. Let's get that later. Let's keep on going, though. Sorry about that. I did not realize. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Okay. We're talking about Rebic. How's Rebic doing? What do you expect from him? I expect a lot because he's a quality player. His condition is improving. Now we have three forwards available. That is Rebic, Leao, and Giroud. Two will always play. So, as I was saying, it is at this point Rebic should be in form. There's no excuse for him not to be in form. Rebic has not been injured for a long time. He's been training with the group for a long time. He's played some moments, instances. He has not played a full game, but he's played minutes, and he's also scored a goal. So at this point, there's absolutely no excuse for him to be not fully fit. Rebic is a great resource for Pioli. Hopefully, he'll be a great resource for him tomorrow. Here it is, guys. The big question of the day. Would you renew Ibra's contract? It's important what Zlatan thinks, first of all. As I know him, I think he wants to continue. His condition is improving, perhaps slower than we thought, but he is better. He left it to Ibra to decide. And I think Ibra will decide at the end of the season. And I believe that if he does decide, Milan would make a very big mistake to keep him as a reliable striker. They cannot obviously play with Ibra, Giroud, and Lazetic next year. That is just not going to work. If he does stay, I don't see Ibra being the first choice anymore. Ibra will have to be relegated, not even as second striker, but as third striker. And he will have to accept a role that maybe he's not used to doing. In order for Ibra to stay another year and accept that role, he will have to have accepted that his career is pretty much the last days, the last moments of his career. So the question is, will Ibra do that? And the other question is, will Ibra actually be able to if, let's say, they do choose him as the first striker, what are the odds of him being fully fit for an entire season? They're pretty much impossible. So Ibra staying at Milan for another season, I think it's not going to happen. I think this matrimony will be over this end of this season. But if he does stay, it will be good for the team, but probably as a third striker. And Milan will have to get another striker in there alongside Giroud and Ibra. And I doubt Lazetic is going to have any impact at all this year or next year. But let's see. Of course, I like to keep my expectations low about these kind of things in order not to put me in a situation where I'll be very disappointed. Well, the next week will be decisive for AC Milan season. I don't know if it will be decisive, but it'll be very important. We have difficult fights, so the points weigh a lot. I don't know if it will be decisive. Well, yes, it will be decisive. Every single game that they're going to play is going to be decisive. So that is kind of a deflection rather than an answering the question. No, every single game is going to be decisive, and it doesn't matter how difficult the fights are. They have to face all fights to win them. Good question. What do you like most about Milan? What do you like most about Milan? I've always felt protected and appreciated. I feel at ease, and this allows me to work at my best. I like that. I like that Milan is Milan does protect him quite well, and I think for good reasons, because he's doing an exceptional job. So very good. How do you explain some drops in your team? Good question. If we still talk about Sunday, too much desire made us lose lucidity. You wanted to split the games. We have to go at 1,000 miles per hour when we are without the ball. We must be animals. Then when we have it, we have to manage it calmly. That is my philosophy of football. Exactly what he said. And this is how I have always envisioned football. This is how I train football when I coach. Is exactly this. When you don't have the ball, you need to be a fucking animal, and you need to be as aggressive as a bear, as a lion, as a tiger. But when you do have the ball, you have to be cool, smooth, and collected, and you have to stop time. just like the Matrix. You need to be able to stop time and see the field 360 degrees and be able to play at any tempo you need. If you need to play at walking pace tempo, you play at walking pace tempo. If you need to play at 2,000 miles per hour because that's what the action requires, you do it. But managing, when you have the ball at the feet, you become a wizard. You become a calm, cool, collected, sentient being. When you don't have the ball on your feet, you're a tiger, you're a lion, you're a bear. That is absolutely the correct way of doing it. How's Salamakers doing? Salamakers, we will see tomorrow if he will be a starter. He is a lively player. He must be more precise in some plays, but he has the qualities to be more effective in certain situations. Salamakers, of course, is a player that a lot of Milan fans love to hate on because he is a player that was adapted in that role. He came to Milan as a right back, and then in Pioli's necessities to create a competitive team, he adapted Salamakers in that role. And in that role, he's a player that you notice runs all over the field, and he's helping players whether it's with the ball or without the ball. But a lot of people love to hate on him because he is not your classic winger. So Salamakers is a player that only if you really understand football at its fullest and what Pioli is trying to do is a player that you can appreciate. But if you don't understand football at its fullest, you will be part of that group of people that will always be hating on Salamakers. How is Lazetic looking? Good question. Good question regarding Lazetic. He is better, but he has done an important job from a physical point of view. So I don't think he will be there tomorrow. I don't think. However, that will take so long. Now, of course, when Lazetic came to Milan, and he pretty much never played a professional game at high levels. He pretty much never did that. So you can't expect, like, let's look at Pato. When Pato came to Milan, Pato was already in the final of the Intercontinental Cup at 16. Pato was playing professional football in Europe, in South America, and Pato was part of the team that won the Copa Libertadores and played in the Intercontinental Cup. So do not compare Lazetic to Pato. If you're comparing Lazetic to Pato, you're not looking at this in the correct manner. Lazetic is coming from the youth sector of the Red Star, and he obviously has. If you don't have the experience to play at the intensity of the first division professionals, you can't just expect this player to come in and just destroy everything right away. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. And then not only they have to work on his physical aspect, but then the psychological aspect will also have to be there. You have to wait for a flower to get in bloom. You can't open up a flower and say, open flower, open flower. I want to see how beautiful they are. Open flower. You can't do that. You have to wait. Time will make the flower go in bloom, and when the time is ready, that flower will look beautiful. Did you play? What does Pioli have that Spalletti and Inzaghi don't? Okay, good question. Pioli has Milan. Wow, what a fucking answer. Dude, this answer is legendary. I should put this on this should be a shirt. Okay, if we do shirts, RossonARI TV shirts, this is what I'm going to put. This is exactly what I'm going to put. This is exactly what I'm going to put. I love this. This is just absolutely brilliance. Brilliance. Here it is. This is what we got to do. What does Pioli have that Spalletti and Inzaghi don't? Pioli has Milan. I have so much confidence in my players that everything is possible with them. I love this answer. I love this answer. And these kind of answers, I think someone asked me the other day, do you think Pioli should criticize the players more? Now, if Mourinho was asked this question, Mourinho would probably have his agendas and he'd probably push some players out, blah, blah, blah. But Pioli is not taking that approach. He is behind every single player, and It's brilliant. I love it. Did you play less as a team in Salerno? Another great question. No. Then clearly it is logical to exploit the qualities of individuals. I think we were not able to exploit the space we had available. I don't think there was a lack of cohesive play. Okay, so he says no. He says that the team did not play as a team. And Saki also said that in his interview just after that game. And really, he's kind of stealing Saki's answer. And he's saying that, yeah, Milan did not play as cohesive as they should. So there you go. Last year, the Rio Ave game charged Milan. And this year, oh, okay, we have several. By working and playing in a certain way, we know we can take away some satisfactions. So basically, he's talking probably about the Inter game. The Inter game was a big game that charged Milan. The Atalanta game was a game that charged Milan. The Atletico Madrid game was a game that charged Milan. The Lazio, both Lazio games were two games that definitely charged Milan. So the Roma game, another game that charged Milan. So Milan does have a lot to extract from when it comes to self-confidence and self-belief based on what they recently did. So yes, okay, very cool. Good press conference from Pioli. I gotta say, well done to him. It's going to be a great game tomorrow. We are doing a watch along tomorrow, by the way. All right, guys. So let's move from the press conference. Let's go to the chat. Let's see who's here. We got MMG. What's up? We have another team that got their mentality destroyed in Europe. Will be an easy title for Milan. Yes, Napoli completely got destroyed by Barcelona today, and I was watching that game, and I'm pretty sure that someone else was watching that game very closely, and that was Pioli. And how did Barcelona beat Napoli? Barcelona beat Napoli by using Guardiola's old tactics. Press high, do not give the defenders any lines of passage. Close all the channels so the defenders can't get to their midfielders, and the defenders are forced to play long ball. So Napoli is a team that likes to play ball on the ground, likes to build from the back and go forward. Also, because when it comes to the long ball, Napoli is not a team that is suited for long ball because their wingers are short and they're small. The only player there that is suited for the long ball is Osimhen, and you can't play a whole game long ball just having one reference, which would be Osimhen. So Napoli is kind of forced to play short and to play always ball on the ground, build your way up, and they have the quality to do it. So what did Barcelona do? Barcelona did not allow them to do that. And as a matter of fact, Barcelona could have scored 4 or 5 goals just in the 30 minutes. Close those channels from basically close the link between the defense and the midfield and the wingers, and you have squashed Barcelona into submission. So we've seen how you beat Napoli. Barcelona showed us exactly. They decoded Napoli brilliantly, and they showed us how to beat Napoli. So I'm sure Pioli paid attention to that, and he looked at that. And Pioli has a lot of players that are very good at doing high press, and Milan loves to do high press. So there you go. That's how we're going to beat. If you want to beat Napoli, Barcelona showed us how. Kangu is in the house. Napoli, Inter, AC Milan lacking. True. Juventus carrying the league again. Nothing new there. I've been saying this for a long time. People want to hate me when I say that. Kangu, haha, only time will tell. Yeah, prayers to them. What's up, Christian? Roy, when I saw Napoli get outplayed and their striker only one doing the attack, we need more attacking players. Roy, when I saw Napoli get outplayed and their striker only one doing the attack, we need more attacking players. I'm not sure what you mean there. Yeah. Mute. I know it was muted. Hey, Roy, given that Inter have lost their last few games, do you see this as the period where they start leaking points? Yes, this is definitely a period in which they have leaked points, but I will not say with confidence whether or not Inter is going to keep on leaking points, because Inter has a team that is probably the most prepared to win the Scudetto. So I think it'd be not realistic to think that Inter is just going to start losing every game from now on. Right now, they lost points, and we need to take advantage of that. They're probably going to have. Okay, so maybe last year when Inter won the Scudetto, if you look at the win losses, um, Inter like won 11 games in a row in the second half of the season, and then they had a tie, and then they won 4 games in a row, and then they had another tie. It was basically all green, 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 green. I don't think they're going to do that, but they are going to win most of the 13 games remaining. We just have to win more games than them. Actually, we are forced to win more games than them because if they win against Bologna, they're 1 point ahead. So if we win all games and they win all games, they're winning the Scudetto. So we have to hope that they're going to lose some points and we take some points back. Let's see. Roy, wouldn't it be nice to win the Scudetto and give Zlatan a grand farewell should he decide to leave? That would be probably the best case scenario for him. Please win so we can enjoy our weekend stress free. Yes, it would be nice to be stress free. Absolutely. And Milan can absolutely do that. Also, Barcelona had a lot of pace with Aubameyang and Traore. We should use Rebic and Lau. Uh, Rebic and Lau are two good solutions. Absolutely. They're there. And Pioli said he's always going to be using two, whether it's Rebic, Lau, and Ibra, according to what he said in this press conference. Not Ibra, Giroud. Um, uh, so, yeah, I mean, they're going to be there. Lau has the pace. Even Diaz has the pace. So, all our strikers have the pace, actually. All right. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what these other links here I find very interesting. Of course, I'm going to click on this one because this one is that this is one of the links that I very interested in. And again, Belotti is being linked to AC Milan. Belotti said sights on boyhood dream as Milan initiate contacts over free transfer. Uh, Roy, do you know about Manuel Akanji? No, I don't. I do not. Let's see what they say about Belotti, a player that I think Milan should definitely get because it would be a great opportunity to create a nice offensive depth. And Milan right now is lacking depth. So we definitely need offensive depth. It seems as though AC Milan are linked with a move for Andrea Belotti every single transfer window without fail. But this coming summer, they could get the striker on a free. According to Pianeta Milan, there are ongoing contacts between the Milan management and Torino's captain, who will not renew his expiring contract and therefore will walk away at the end of the season on a free to try a new professional experience. The 28-year-old has maintained that he will decide on where to go at the end of the season, but his will is clear to move southeast and to achieve his boyhood dream of wearing the Rossoneri shirt. He's always been a Milan fan, and the Milan management are thinking about signing him given the opportunity to land an established Serie A goal scorer at no cost. Contacts between the parties are ongoing with reflections underway. I'm very happy to see Belotti being linked to Milan once again because Belotti is a very, 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 very good striker. And he's a striker that for 6 seasons in a row has gotten to 20 goals involvement between goals and assists. 20 seasons in a row, you get those kind of numbers, bring him to Milan. It can only be good for us. Of course, and I will say this a million times, every time I say that I think Belotti should come to Milan, someone is trying to accuse me of saying that I'm expecting Belotti to be the new Shevchenko. No, I'm talking about offensive depth. And I want to, speaking about offensive depth, let's segue into the probable formations of the game, the upcoming game. And I want to talk about offensive depth, and I want to talk about something that I also touched on yesterday that kind of worries me. It does kind of worry me, and let's face that, and let's also talk about offensive depth as we get in it. All right, so Let me go to the tactical board. Okay, and let's look at the most likely probable formation AC Milan is playing tomorrow. The one that has come out so far on the news. All right, so let's look at it. Here it is. Okay, so again, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at Magnan in goal, Calabria on the right back, Tomori center right, Romagnoli center left, Deo on the left. In the double pivot, we're looking at Tonali and Kessie. I'll say this again. If you ask me, this is one of the best midfield duos in Europe today. If you want to build a Champions League winning team, I would like to have Tonali and Kessie in that midfield. I'm happy. I would be very happy with that. And if those can be my two prime midfielders, a voglia ragazzi, we can win a lot. So tomorrow, from this area here, the area in front of the midfield line is world class, 100% European world class. With Magnan, Tomori, Calabria, Romagnoli, Hernandez, Tonali, and Kessie, we're talking about absolute top. Now, on this side of the field, we have a very offensive team: Messias, Diaz, Leao, and Giroud. Leao, again, I'm going to repeat this. It's looking like that he is morphing into a player that can get you 20 goals a season. And again, when I say 20 goals, I mean assists and goals. So he seems like this season is going to be that season, and any team that wants to win big trophies needs to have players like that, players that can give you those kind of goals. We do have a player that can give you those kind of goals. His name is Ibrahimovic, but Ibrahimovic is not ready. Giroud looks like he's going to hit the double digits. He's one goal from double digits. So he might end with total somewhere around 15, 16 goals by the end of the season with assists. Maybe he can even hit the 20s if Ibra is going to be kept out even more. So we'll see. Now, again, the only issue I have with this formation is that I see what Pioli wants to do. He basically wants to put all his creative players from the beginning. He wants to put the most offensive team he can put in the beginning. So you'll see, this is how more or less Milan will attack. Then you even have Calabria coming up. He's kind of abandoned the idea of the three at the back right now. He's kind of going back to that sending both his fullbacks up front. But it's going to be a very offensive team, and I think it is the right thing to do because Udinese is a team that is very difficult to break down. So you want to put the more quality you have on the field, the better it is to break down. The only issue I have with this is that if you do not break them down, the only players you can put in that can be an offensive threat is Rebic, and that's it. Maldini is not ready to be that offensive threat. Lazetic is definitely, he's not even going to be on the field to be that offensive threat. Casti is when was last time Castillo played? So you only have Rebic if you bring in here. But once you start making your subs, right? Remember, guys, the green players are the players that get you the goals. Once you start making your subs, it's less and less green players. Maybe this is what he might do towards the end. Where's Bakayoko? Where the hell is he? And maybe we're going to see this Florenzi coming in for Calabria, and then he's probably going to put either Rebic for Leao or he's going to put Rebic for Giroud. So if you end the game like this and you haven't scored and you have 30 minutes and you have 20 to 30, it's going to be even more difficult. Now, from a tactical point of view, he is gambling, and I know he is gambling. He is gambling. he is making a big gamble. Because let's look at, for example, a team like Liverpool, right? Liverpool can start with their 4-3-3 with Salah, uh, whoever in the middle, and Mane, right? But then on the bench they have two players for each position. They have two players for each offensive position. Jota, Origi, and Diaz. So that's already six attacking players. So Liverpool has Mane, Jota, Origi, Firmino, Salah, Diaz, and I'm sure there's others that are not saying. So you see, Klopp, when he starts a game, he knows that towards the end of the game, when he makes his subs, he can still maintain a certain amount of offensive pressure. Uh, and Klopp has that also in the midfield, by the way, which is quite crazy. His team, there's so much depth in Liverpool, it's crazy. But Milan does not have that. So Milan. Pioli is taking a gamble. If it works out, Pioli is going to look like a genius. But if it doesn't work out, it's going to be difficult for him to score towards the end of the game. Of course, if we had Ibra also available, then it's a little bit easier because you can have Ibra. I mean, that's the only other offensive player we have. So even if we do have Ibra there, I mean, you can still keep a pretty offensive team, right? You could do that. Let's say if you want to bring Ibra, and you still have four. You still have four green players. So my no, it's not a fear. It's not a fear. I like that he's taking this risk. I like when coaches go all gung ho. But if he starts this way, he better score two goals or three by the 70th minute, and then he can close up shop because the team he has on the bench is a team to close up shop. So I hope he does. I hope he does that. I hope he does that, and I hope his gamble works out for him. And if it does work out for him, it works out for us. So this is what we're expecting AC Milan to be quite offensive in the first 45 to 65 minutes. Then after the 65th minute, guys, after the 70th minute, just pray that we have scored a bunch of goals. Pray that we have scored a bunch of goals. All right, so that's the approach that we're most likely going to see against Udinese. Let's go back to Sempre Milan. And let's see if there are any other interesting articles that I might have missed. That well, actually, there are. There was one that was quite interesting regarding a player that. Check this out. Milan interested in re-signing academy product valued at 15 million. Re-signing. So once again, Milan not doing a great job when it comes to the youth, but check this out. AC Milan are interested in the possibility of re-signing their former academy player Raul Bellanova from Cagliari, according to a report. According to Sport News EU, Cagliari president Giuliani is ready to sell yet another talent of his team for a capital gain as Bellanova is attracting the interest of a number of top teams in Serie A. He arrived in the summer from Bordeaux, having come through the youth sector of Milan, surprising everybody with his quality and consistency. Why didn't Milan catch this? The Italy under-21 international proved to be very reliable and more functional, so in June they will buy him permanently for 1 million and then they can sell him on to the best suitor. Juventus, Milan, Roma are all keen, but Napoli, Inter are on pole. The former must find a reliable deputy to Di Lorenzo, and Spalletti is convinced he can turn him into a fullback in a four-man defense, while the latter are keen on bringing him for Simone Inzaghi's 3-5-2. He has a valuation of 15 million that could grow yet. Another big failure of the AC Milan Academy, not being able to see the talent that they have at hand. And now, this is not news that I particularly like, especially because I criticize the Milan's youth academy quite a lot. Um, they have not done a great job in in many years. As a matter of fact, I remember that there's this documentary that came out, something called The Future, and it came out around 2013, 2012. It was a documentary about the youth sector of Milan. And well, we are in the future, and that future is Darmian playing for Inter, Locatelli playing for Juve, um, what's his name? Cristante playing for Roma, uh, Pessina playing for Atalanta. This guy here that we let go, Aubameyang playing for Barcelona. So what future are they fucking talking about? Milan's academy management is absolute crap, and it's just, you got to be honest. You just got to be honest about it. There is no future when it comes to Milan's academy. I hope that with this new management, because of how this new management operates, especially because this new management is very more interested and concerned about creating new players, that they will put a little bit more attention to the youth sector. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know this, but in this window transfer market that just passed, the winter transfer market, Milan did 16 operations. Many of these we don't even know about. And they're all youth sector operations. So I have a lot of faith that this management is going to do a very good job with the youth sector in the near future, and they're going to extract a lot of champions from that youth sector. I really think that this management does have the ability and does have the ambition to do that. But from up until now, it's been nothing to be proud of. Okay, very good, very good. Let's keep on going. Let's see if we can find some other interesting articles that came out today. Um, aside from basically just this thing about Ibrahimovic and his renewal, there's really not much else. Um, okay, so here there's some rumors and links. Uh, Now, Botman. I gave you guys my opinion on Botman. I think Bremen is better, but I will not say that I know better than the scouts of AC Milan or Maldini, Massara, and Moncada. If they think Botman is worth 30 million, and they think that they want to invest in this player and put him in the team, 21 years old, Dutch international, and develop him for the next 5, 6, 7 years, then who am I to say that they shouldn't? I hope they do, because I trust in their competence. These are people with clear ideas and are very competent. So now, I just prefer Bremen, maybe because I've seen him more. I've barely seen Botman. AC Milan are confident that they can reach an agreement with Lille and complete the signing of Sven Botman, according to a report. Milan have been extensively linked with a move for Botman over the past few weeks. In fact, since before the January transfer window, when it became clear that the club were in the market for a new centre back after Simeon Kjaer's seasons ended injured. I forget about Kjaer. We still have Kjaer. Matt, next season, having Kjaer is almost like having a new signing. CalcioMercato.com reports that Milan have clear ideas regarding whom they want to sign in the summer, having failed to bring anyone during the winter transfer market, and it is Botman. He impressed during Lille's 2-0 defeat to Chelsea in the Champions League in midweek. Now, this article saying he impressed, from what I'm hearing from a lot of pundits that were looking at the game specifically to see Botman and Sanchez, they were not impressed with Botman. So let's also keep that in mind. With the 22-year-old putting in a solid shift at the back, he is the first name on the wish list, and there is confidence filtering regarding the outcome of operation, because Paolo Maldini and Ricky Massara are convinced that they can successfully close the deal with Lille. Okay, well, all to be seen. All to be seen. Again, I would like to see Bremen. Bremen gives me a little bit more confidence, but I'm sure that Botman is also a fantastic football player, and he will if he does join Milan, he will grow into an AC Milan player just nicely. Just nicely. Okay, Muriel. Muriel. By the way, guys, I like to use Sempre Milan. There are other websites that are similar to Sempre Milan, but basically just collect different pieces. Basically, a lot of what I'm reading here for Sempre Milan are Italian articles coming from Italian sources. They're just translated into English. So this is not. These are not journalists that are writing these. I mean, this is just a collection of articles from all different sources, but the majority, 99% of these articles are reports that are first written in Italian and then they're translated to English. So I have noticed that sometimes things do get lost in translation, because I read also the articles in Italian sometimes, and then I read the article in English, and I notice that there are some discrepancies that sometimes end up being like the telephone game. You know, the telephone game, you have a message, then we go to next message, next message. By the end of the row, the message is completely changed. So there is a little bit of that going on in these English uh, news sites that collect AC Milan reports. There's another one, Milan Reports is also a good site. There's a bunch of websites similar to Sempre Milan. I'm choosing to use Sempre Milan simply because we had Jan here that is used to be present in the Sempre Milan podcast. Oliver, the guy that wrote this article, knows Laert. Laert knows him. They went to see the Liverpool game, so um, there's a little bit of mutual respect there. So we're going to use Sempre Milan. Okay, let's see what he says. Luis Muriel's future at Atalanta is far from certain, meaning that AC Milan could reignite their interest in him, according to a report. CalcioMercato.com report how Muriel has had a difficult time recently, having remained at the club in January when he looked set to leave the club, getting more consistent playing time since, but then sustained a recent injury. Okay, Muriel seriously considered the idea of a transfer during the winter window as rumors about a potential move to Milan or Juve began to gather steam. Now, Muriel would be another great player. Guys, bring me Muriel and Belotti for next season. We have quality. Both clubs were looking for a striker, but under the right circumstances. In the end, there were no contacts between the parties. The feeling is that a farewell to Bergamo could have become a reality then, and in the summer it could once again return to prominence. At 31 years of age, Muriel will in fact find himself 12 months from the expiry of his contract with the Bergamo club, and he may well choose to try something new. Atalanta are an expensive shop, but for an over 30-year-old who is approaching the end of his contract, they could not ask more than 12 or 15 million. Interesting. Muriel is a player but does have a lot of quality, and Milan is a team that loves players with quality, but there's a problem with Muriel. A problem that Belotti does not have: work rate. Milan is also a team that needs player with extraordinary work rate. Um, and it's almost to the point where even a player as valuable as Leao sometimes gets criticized by Pioli himself because um, because um, work rate is such an important aspect of AC Milan's game. So Muriel is someone that offers you a lot of quality, but his work rate is not exceptional. Is not exceptional. So I think that's something that Milan always considers when they do their purchases. Uh, but if Muriel would come to AC Milan, that would be good. That would be definitely good. Sempre Milan and Bleacher Report is what I use. Yeah, those are good ones. Yeah, and then you have news.now.uk also that collects pretty much everything from everywhere. I do want to say that the Italian websites have some articles that maybe get missed in the English websites, and it's not vice versa. But it's usually most of it is most of it is stuff that you don't know whether it's real or not. All right, let's see if there's any other interesting articles that we can go over today and look at. Um, Guys, we are doing a watch along tomorrow morning, so stay tuned for the watch along. It's going to be fun. Let's see who's, maybe we can even have Lart and Ari join us. We'll see. But I am definitely planning to do a watch along for the game tomorrow. All right, let's see if there are any news items that we missed today that could be important. Let's see. Okay, we spoke about the 11. PIOLI dropped strong hint on Ibrahimovic's future. Yeah, we spoke about that. A lot of Milan fans are not. Oh, Ambrosini. Whenever Ambrosini talks, you always want to listen. Let's see what Ambrosini says. Former AC Milan midfielder Massimo Ambrosini has weighed in on the captaincy debate by suggesting Zlatan Ibrahimovic as a candidate for the armband. All right, so let's see what he says. There's some debate ongoing about what will happen if Alessio Romagnoli's contract expires and he decides to leave Milan on a free transfer when the season ends. In the absence of Romagnoli, it was Davide Calabria who took the captaincy, but more due to his seniority within the squad rather than being appointed in that role. While Theo Hernandez and Simon Kjaer have also stepped up. Ambrosino gave an interview to La Gazzetta dello Sport about a number of different topics related to the captaincy, including who held the armband while he played and what it was like to wear it himself. Okay. My captain at Milan was Paolo, but I thank God every day for letting me experience what Franco was doing on a playing field, he said. Okay. Is Ibrahimovic difficult to manage as a captain? No. He gave so much to others, also in terms of enthusiasm. But it was a period of transition. There were many heads to put together, and Allegri's third year was complicated, especially towards the end. Allegri is a mess, and what he Allegri ruined Milan. Allegri ruined Milan. We're still feeling the after effects of what Allegri did to Milan. Ambrosini inherited the captaincy from Paolo Maldini, and he was revealed that he had internal doubts about whether he was suitable to wear it. Okay, yeah, I remember that. A lot of Milan fans were talking about that when because from Maldini and because of the rules of Milan, always it's the seniority. Ambrosini was next in line. And in my case, the concern was that I was up to the task because I was inheriting something huge, but the honor for the band was directly proportional to that concern, great honor and great responsibilities. With great responsibilities comes great blah, 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 as Spider-Man says. The captain is still Romagnoli, given that he is likely to be a starter until the end of the season. Ambrosini believes this is correct. It must be respected. I remember when rumors began to circulate about me. It bothered me as long as Alessio is at Milan. He has that armband, and you have to remember that. What? What do you mean? The captain ceremony given like it must be, yeah, it must be respected. I remember when rumors began to circulate about me. It bothered me. As long as Alessio is at Milan, yeah, basically kind of what I was saying. On what skills a good captain should have, he added, he must learn to manage responsibilities in everyday life. He must be recognized in that role by club, but first of all by his teammates. Years of service do not necessarily correspond to leadership. The criterion of appearances cannot be the only one. It is important, but not the only one to be evaluated. I definitely 100% agree with that. I don't think it should just be years of service. I think leadership should be given to people that have the mental capability of being a leader. I definitely agree with that. There is the accepted notion that the captain of a big club is chosen by the coach, something the ex-midfielder agrees with, but not as the sole factor. You cannot ignore the coach because it is right that the coach fully recognizes himself in his captain, but it cannot be a univocal condition. Whether Tonali has what it takes to be a leader, if he confirms that he is showing the fabric is certainly there, not only a technical level. I honestly think that Tonali is about to become the best midfielder in Europe. He is the next big midfielder. Like he's going to be the number one. I think Tonali is going to be the number one guy in Europe coming up soon. I repeat, there could be more candidates. Wait, if Tonali continues like this, he has all the qualities needed to be the captain of Milan in the future. But he is not the only one in the team. I'm also thinking of Simon Kjaer. He seems to be more a natural captain, he is. And on the other hand, is already the leader of his national team. I repeat, there could be many candidates, but I'll throw it there. Why not Ibra? If he will continue in Milan another year, and with the captain's armband, it'd be a wonderful career finale, and he would still give Milan a lot. Interesting. So if, let's say, Romagnoli does leave Milan, yeah, who is the next captain of the team? Who should it be? Good question. Should they go with seniority or should they go with, let's say, who the coach deems to be the most qualified one with the leadership qualities? I wonder. Good question. Should it keep? I guess Calabria's. I mean, I would give it to Theo Hernandez just because we saw that when Theo Hernandez has that armband, he doesn't dye his hair yellow or whatever or blonde, and he doesn't look like a DJ like Lart likes to say, and he really holds himself up high, chin high. He really immerses himself in the responsibility. I'd almost just give it to Hernandez just because I know that captain armband makes him a better player. But aside from that, I really don't know who it should go to next year. I guess either Calabria, Chiara. I wonder how many games Chiara will play next year. All right, let's go towards the end of this. Let's see if there are any other articles that might be interesting to explore. Okay, let's see. Well, we're playing against Beto. Beto was a player that scored against us last game, a goal that we gave him, we gifted him. Let's see what he says, and then we'll do one more and we'll finish there. Udinese striker Beto has revealed that what? Look at how this is written. Udinese striker Beto has revealed that he received what? Who the hell wrote this? Udinese striker Beto has revealed that received got a message from son. All right, let me rewrite it. Let me say this better. Udinese striker Beto has revealed that he received a message from Zlatan Ibrahimovic after the league meeting between the two sides earlier in the season. With 8 goals in 22 league games, not bad, Beto is beginning to turn heads, and Milan found out firsthand the threat that he carries as he scored the opening goal in the 1-1 draw at the Dacia Arena earlier in the season. Corriere dello Sport via Milan Live even reported in December that Beto could be the ideal profile for Milan. A lot of people linked Beto to Milan and talked about Beto as a candidate for Milan. Beto is young, has high potential, but also has the right physical mold for a striker in Pioli's 4-2-3-1. That is absolutely true. However, Udinese would only consider a permanent deal for 50 million because they need to trigger their obligation to buy for 7 million plus 3 million bonuses. Okay. Beto spoke to Sport Italia Mercato on the eve of the game between the Rossoneri and the Bianconeri at the San Siro tomorrow night and recalled his encounter with Ibra. Okay, let's see what he said. Ibrahimovic said that I'm strong and that I'm doing well. We are confident for this match. We do not see it as a concern. There are no obvious matches in the season, he said via Pianeta Milan. We can win against the leaders. It happened in the last round where the strongest teams on paper lost against the lowest teams in the table. Scudetto, I think Inter win it, but Milan could win it too. They want it. They can play badly, but they also want to win, and this earns point. So yeah, Beto is pretty much saying what I've been saying, what a lot of people saying, that Milan can definitely win the Scudetto this time around. No problem whatsoever. Okay, Beto, a player that technically I'm not in love with him at all. I don't think he is a magician with the ball, but he does impose himself. He does impose himself very well due to his huge physical attributes. He's tall, big, strong. He is fast, but not the most technical player. Not the most. He's more of a Giroud than a Ibra, a bootleg Giroud, or someone that is not as accomplished. I would say bootleg is a little bit unfair. Maybe someone that is just not as accomplished as Giroud, but he's more of that kind of player than Ibrahimovic. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? King of dribbling. King of dribbling. Who is this? All right. Last article of the day. Milan are continuing to look abroad for options to reinforce their attack, and they're targeting a winger from Spurs and striker from Rams, a report claims. Gazzetta dello Sport. Milan are following Steven Bergwijn and Hugo. This name is difficult to say. Ekitike. Steven Bergwijn and Hugo Ekitike. And Steven Ekitike. 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 Ekitike, Ekitike. Oh man, that's tough to say in a row. If anybody can say that in a row without stopping, Ekitike, 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 Ekitike. That's tough. Ekitike, 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 Ekitike. That's tough. As potential options to come in ahead of 22-23 and raise the quality of the attack for the future. The former is a winger who plays for Tottenham and was bought by Mourinho in January 2020, while the latter has 9 goals in League One. That's pretty good. The season with Reims at just 19 years of age, 9 goals. Nice. Very good. Bergwijn is described as a king of dribbling. Okay, and he made the move from PSV to Spurs in 2020, scoring on his Premier League debut against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, having only arrived in London 4 days earlier. I love players that are called the king of dribbling. I love those kind of players. However, this season he has scored 3 goals in 18 games. Wow, that's not good at all. And is struggling for playing time. That's not good. Bergwijn cost 30 million. Fuck no, dude. Why would you spend 30 million for a guy that is doing so poorly when you can spend that money for a guy like Berardi who's on fire every single season? Bergwijn costs 30 million as a contract until 2025, but he's not deemed unsellable by Spurs. We're willing to sell him for a figure in the region of 2025. So Milan are thinking about the opportunity. Okay, I mean, it's always an opportunity. If you can't get one, you get another one. Ekitike, I got it. Meanwhile, is inspired by Mbappe. All right. I like that. And has a past as a winger. But it is thanks to a loan spell at Villers-Beau Club that he is now ready for Reims and for League One. He is right-footed, has 4 assists in addition to his goals. Wow, this guy at 19, guys, is in double digits when it comes to goals and the goal contribution. So 9 goals and 4 assists, 13 goals in total, and we're just over halfway. These are great numbers for a 19-year-old. Yes, this is the player that we should be getting. With the teenager having said no to Newcastle, good. Waiting until the summer instead to join a serious project. Guys, let's check out who both these players are. The numbers of this 19-year-old are kind of driving me crazy. These are the kind of numbers I want to see. Now, this is a player that I think we should definitely look into. Roy, do you know what's happening with Vasil? Is he okay? Has he gone to the Ukraine army as he looks under 45? I do not know, guys. I'm not sure what's going on with Vasil, but I'm sure that he is not living this situation nicely, and I'm sure that we wish Vasil the best. Prayers to him and anybody he might know that is involved in the situation. Just a side talk. Caio Jorge would be out for at least 8 months. Good that Juve hijacked him from us. Caio Jorge is a player that Juve. I don't know what Juve is even trying to do with this player. It's literally something you can't even formulate an opinion on, because what was the point of bringing Caio Jorge again? What was the point of bringing Caio Jorge to Italy? I really don't know. Now, I think if he came to us, he would have seen more game time, and he made the mistake to go to Juve. He should have come to us. Caio Jorge and his agent made the big mistake of going to Juventus. he should have come to us, and with us, he would have gotten better fortunes, and probably by now, maybe now, Caio Georgia would have established himself as a more prominent football player if he had come to us. So it's he made the mistake. These guys chase money instead of chasing the right project, and they pay for it in the end. All right, Ekitike. Let's start with that one first. The king of dribbling, Bergwijn. Bergwijn. Let's do a deep dive analysis on Bergwijn, the guy that is supposed to come to Milan instead of Berardi. Very, very, very bad. Very, very bad. Okay, let's see what this Bergwijn guy is all about. Okay, here we go. Let's start with Bergwijn, and then we'll go with Ekitike, and then we'll finish the stream for today. Let's do a deep dive in these two players, and let's see what's going on with them. Let's see if these two players are worthy of the great red and black. Okay, here we go. Get the volume up. Juve just stealing every other team targets, and their fans are proud of stealing other team targets. Yeah, the Caio Georgia operation for Juve was just it doesn't. I don't. Well, I also think Allegri. Allegri is such a bad coach when it comes to developing youngsters. I mean, Allegri was even questioning Chiesa. How can you question Chiesa? You should be counting your blessings that you have that player in your team. And then he destroyed Chiesa as well. Like Allegri is a destroyer of players. The same way he destroyed AC Milan, and Milan is still paying for it. He destroyed Chiesa. All right, are we playing or what? What's going on here? Oh, come on. What the fuck do I pay 5G for? What the fuck do I pay 5G for, guys? What is going on? All right, so we'll wait like idiots here for this thing to load. But in the meantime, yeah, good points and questions about flashes of genius. Come on, work. What the incredible, guys. Incredible. They say 5G, pay $20 extra, and you get the best internet. Blah 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 blah. It's all BS, guys. It's all BS. It's all lies. It's all lies. None of it is true. Okay, looks like this is not going to happen. Looks like this is not going to happen, guys. That's really unfortunate because I wanted to see what this player was all about, but it doesn't look like this is going to happen. What a piece of shit fucking 5G my ass. 5G my ass. They even have the audacity to say that shit. They even have the audacity to say that shit. All right, I think this is not going to work. Maybe I can try. Incredible. Incredible. Fucking piece of shit. All right. Well, I don't think this is going to happen. So it's not going to happen. I'm going to see these players on my own time, and then I'm going to judge them. But I'm very curious about this Ekitike guy. Drop the video quality to 720. All right, let me see. Let me see if that's going to work. Because I do want to see who these guys are. I do want to see who these guys are. I do want to see who these guys are, and it would be nice to share it with you. Nah. Nope, nothing. Piece of shit. 5G my ass. 5G my ass. Nah, it's all right, guys. Um, Kingu. Let's see. No way. No way. No way. Forget about it. No way. So basically, what happened is that we have a group chat with all the people, right? And the chat usually has titles, right? The group chat is called some usually um, something, whatever. But now it has a name that is so anti-Milanista that I'm not even going to entertain it. I do not want anything to do with it. I do not give a fuck. I am out of that. I'm deleting the group completely from my phone. I do not want any part in it. I'm not going to participate in anti-Milanismo. I'm not going to participate in the bantering of our players. I'm not going to participate in the negative energy towards our team. I have no interest in doing that. That brings absolutely no value. That is what people with small minds do. People with that are filled with resentment and anger and narcissism do. I have no interest in being part of that group anymore. So I have completely taken myself away from that group. They just tried to re-invite me inside that group right now, but I left it again and I deleted it from my phone. I will not participate in any anti-Milanismo. Never, never will you see me participate in anti-Milanismo. Never will you see me participate in the the bantering and the jeering of my team. The same way I was against the Curva Sud jeering Donnarumma when he played for the national team, and the same way I will always be against any of the fans that do nothing but send out negative energy towards a team that right now needs nothing but positive energy. Is it just them going on players like Krunic and Casti? Yeah, something like that. Something like that. So I have completely detached myself from that group. I'm no part. I'm no longer part of it. I will just in case you guys know, and this is why you're seeing me do solo lives right now. But of course, whenever we have our post games live, I'm sure Light is going to invite everybody, and we're going to get back on it. But I am not participating in anti-Milanismo. I have no interest in it. I just do not care one bit about it. And they have the freedom to do what they want. I have the freedom to do what I want. Anyway, guys, unfortunately, we'll do this. We'll do another session in which I will share, those videos with those players. I do want to react and to analyze those players, especially this Ekitike guy. Very difficult to say. Ekitike, 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 Ekitike. Oh, you know why? Because it's in 3. It's 1, 2, 3. Ekitike, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Ekitike, 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 Ekitike. Ekitike, 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 Ekitike. I like that name. That's a cool name. I'm very curious about this player. 19 years old, already 13 goal contribution. Let's see where this goes. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all of you. Joel is here. What's up? Forza Milan. Guys, tomorrow we will have a watch along. So please join us for the watch along. Let's support our beloved AC Milan with all our hearts. And I am 100% on board with this project. And Forza Milan, long live Milan. This team, to me, is something that I can never get out of my head. When I wake up in the morning, I have Milan in my mind. When I go back to sleep at night, I have Milan in my mind. It's always been like this pretty much ever since I first fell in love with this team. And tomorrow morning, we're going to follow the game together. And Forza Milan, guys. Let's hope we win. Quick resume of what we spoke about. Ibrahimovic, is he going to renew? Should he renew? Pioli's press conference, very insightful. And Belotti being linked again. And this Ekitike player, but is very interesting. We are going to look at him together when my internet is a little bit better. So stay tuned for that. Guys, much love and respect. We will see you again next time. Alla prossima. Ciao. Arrivederci. E come sempre, only 2 words. Only 2 words. And those 2 words are forza, forza, forza. 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 Forza Milan. Ciao.